Welcome, my friends, to a historical deep dive that's more messy than a night out with Marie Antoinette after one too many glasses of champagne. That's right, we're talking about the French Revolution, a period so dramatic, so chaotic, it makes reality TV look like a documentary about, well, documentaries. Buckle up, buttercups, because this is going to be a wild ride through history's bloodiest playground. Now, let's address the elephant in the room, or rather the giant head-removing machine in the town square, the guillotine. Shocking, I know. So, some bright spark decided, hey, let's make this whole execution thing more efficient, less messy, give the people what they want. A quick, clean separation of head and body. And thus the guillotine was born. But hey, who are we to judge? They were busy overthrowing a monarchy and whatnot. Let's talk about Marie Antoinette, shall we? The OG Queen Bee of France, who, contrary to popular belief, never actually uttered the infamous phrase, "let them eat cake."
I know, it's a real bummer. But alas, history is often a game of broken telephones, and somewhere along the line, poor Marie got stuck with a line she never even said. After all, she was an aristocrat, not a baker.
Next up, we have Maximilien Robespierre, the poster boy for the Reign of Terror. This guy was basically the mastermind behind the whole off with their heads phase of the revolution.
Anyway, in a truly delicious twist of irony, our friend Robespierre eventually found himself on the wrong end of the guillotine. It's almost poetic, isn't it? Almost.
Speaking of the Reign of Terror, let's just say it was a period that really lived up to its name. In just 1 year, over 16,000 people were officially executed. And the worst part, you didn't even have to do anything particularly treasonous to get your name on the chopping block. Speak out against the revolution? Off with your head. Make a bad joke about Robespierre's haircut? Off with your head. Ah yes, the revolutionary calendar. Because when you're busy overthrowing the monarchy and reinventing society, you might as well throw out the old calendar while you're at it. So, out went the old boring months like January and February, and in came exciting new months like Thermidor, Brumaire and Fructidor. Seriously, they named a month after fruit. Now you might be thinking, okay, so they renamed a few months, no big deal. In their infinite wisdom, the revolutionaries decided that religion was, well, a bit old-fashioned, that's right. They created the cult of reason, complete with its own ceremonies, rituals, and even a goddess. Lady Liberty, of course. Amidst all this chaos and bloodshed, a certain someone saw an opportunity.
Enter Napoleon Bonaparte, stage left, looking dashing, ambitious, and just a tad power-hungry. You see, revolutions, as messy and chaotic as they are, tend to create a bit of a power vacuum. And Napoleon, well, he was more than happy to fill that vacuum.
Remember those liberty-loving Americans we mentioned earlier? Well, it turns out they didn't just inspire the French to start a revolution, they also provided the blueprint for one of its most important documents, the Declaration of the Rights of Man and of the Citizen. The French Declaration went further than its American counterpart, emphasizing not just liberty, but also equality and fraternity. Of course, actually living up to those ideals proved to be a bit trickier. Now, while the men were busy writing declarations and lopping off heads, the women of France were busy doing what they always do, holding down the fort, literally and figuratively.
They marched on Versailles, they stormed the Bastille, they even formed their own political clubs. These women were fierce, they were passionate, and they were determined to have their voices heard. But sadly, once the dust settled and the new republic emerged, the rights of women were largely ignored.
Ah, the storming of the Bastille, the iconic event that's practically synonymous with the French Revolution. But here's the thing, it was also a bit of a letdown. For all the effort that went into storming the Bastille, for all the blood that was shed, they only managed to free 7 prisoners. Now, you might think that the French Revolution was just a local affair, a bunch of disgruntled Frenchmen taking their frustrations out on the monarchy. The truth is, the French Revolution was like a virus, spreading its message of liberty, equality, and fraternity far and wide. From the shores of America to the heart of Europe, the revolution inspired countless others to rise up and demand change. Now, amidst all the chaos and bloodshed, the French Revolution did manage to achieve some good. For instance, they gave us the metric system. The metric system is all about tens, hundreds and thousands. So thank you, French Revolution, for giving us the gift of meters, litres and grams. Even fashion wasn't safe from the revolutionary spirit. The French Revolution ushered in a new era of simplicity and practicality. The most radical among them, the sans-culottes, even ditched their breeches, culottes, in favour of trousers, a symbol of their working-class roots. So, the next time you're struggling to choose an outfit, just remember the French Revolution and embrace the power of simplicity. Now, we've talked about the guillotine's efficiency, its symbolism, and its role in the Reign of Terror. But what you may not know is that it also became a tool for settling personal scores. So, the next time you're tempted to write a strongly worded email to your nemesis, just remember the French Revolution and be thankful you don't have a guillotine at your disposal. Now, if you were unfortunate enough to be accused of being an enemy of the revolution, you'd find yourself hauled before the Revolutionary Tribunal. Forget about due process, fair trials, or that whole innocent until proven guilty nonsense. The Revolutionary Tribunal was all about swift justice, revolutionary style.
Guilty.
Now, no discussion of the French Revolution would be complete without mentioning the Jacobins, the political club that basically ran the show during the Reign of Terror. Led by our old pal Robespierre, the Jacobins were the ultimate political radicals, pushing for extreme measures and brooking no opposition. They were like the political equivalent of that friend who always takes things a bit too far. Marie Antoinette never actually uttered the infamous phrase, "Let them eat cake." This widely believed myth has been debunked by numerous historians over the years. The quote had been around for decades before she even arrived in France, attributed to various other figures in history. Some historians believe it was started by political enemies to paint her as out of touch with the common people's struggles and to tarnish her reputation. Accusing her of cake indifference was a solid strategy to demonize her, making her a scapegoat for the people's anger during the French Revolution. So, next time you hear that line, remember to drop some historical truth bombs. Revolution-themed cupcakes, anyone? It's a fun way to share the real story behind the myth. Maximilien Robespierre, the architect of the Reign of Terror, believed terror was necessary for a virtuous republic. He sent countless people to the guillotine, but the revolution always eats its own. Robespierre met the same fate he imposed on others. A stark reminder that even the most powerful figures can fall victim to the forces they unleash. The Reign of Terror was a year-long bloodbath with over 16,000 executions. The Committee of Public Safety ruled with an iron fist, silencing dissent. People were executed for everything from hoarding food to speaking ill of the revolution. A dark chapter in the French Revolution reminding us that even revolutions for liberty can descend into horrifying violence. Amidst the chaos, the revolutionaries implemented a new calendar in 1793. It had 12 months, each with 30 days, and poetic names inspired by nature. January became Nivose, snow month. February became Pluviose, rain month, and so on. Months like Germinal, seed time, and Thermidor, heat, replaced the old ones. Who needs boring old July when you can have Thermidor? The revolutionaries tried to establish a new secular religion called the Cult of Reason. They even converted Notre Dame Cathedral into a temple of reason. Replacing centuries of religious tradition with reason was a tough sell. The French Revolution started with high hopes as people dreamed of liberty, equality and fraternity, but quickly descended into violence with street battles and riots becoming a common sight. Amidst the chaos, a young and ambitious Napoleon Bonaparte emerged as a strong man, seizing the opportunity to rise to power. He positioned himself as the one who could restore order and stability, gaining the trust and support of the weary populace. Exhausted from years of upheaval and longing for peace, people were eager for normalcy and a return to stability. The revolution that aimed to dismantle absolute monarchy ironically paved the way for another, with Napoleon at the helm, crowned as emperor, leading France into a new era. The French Revolution was inspired by the American Revolution. The Declaration of the Rights of Man and of the Citizen was influenced by the American Declaration of Independence. Both documents championed natural rights and popular sovereignty. The French Revolution took a more guillotine-heavy turn than its American counterpart. Women were far from passive bystanders in the French Revolution. They stormed the Bastille, marched on Versailles, and participated in political clubs. They fought for liberty, equality, and fraternity. But the new French Republic denied them basic rights like voting and property ownership. Revolutionary ideals clashed with societal norms, and unfortunately the ideals lost. The storming of the Bastille is iconic, but it housed only 7 prisoners at the time. There were 4 forgers, a lunatic, a deviant aristocrat, and a man imprisoned by his family. The storming was a powerful symbolic act, representing the people's willingness to fight for freedom, even if it meant facing down a mostly empty fortress. The French Revolution's shockwaves inspired revolutions and reforms worldwide. From the Haitian Revolution to the Irish Rebellion, its message resonated with oppressed people. It showed that entrenched power structures could be challenged and overthrown. The revolution planted seeds for future struggles against tyranny and oppression. The French Revolution gave us the metric system. Before the revolution, France had a chaotic system of weights and measures. The revolutionaries created a new, standardized system based on the decimal system. Next time you're converting meters to kilometers, thank those revolutionary mathematicians. The French Revolution was a fashion revolution too. Out went extravagant wigs and corsets, in came simpler practical clothing. Men wore long trousers called pantalons, symbolizing the common man's struggle. Women adopted looser flowing styles inspired by ancient Greece and Rome, ditching the frills, embracing simplicity and making a statement with clothing. The French Revolution had its fair share of less noble motivations. Some people used the chaos to settle old scores and eliminate enemies. The guillotine became a tool for personal vendettas. Power, even revolutionary power, can be dangerous and intoxicating. The Revolutionary Tribunal was a kangaroo court with severe punishments. Established in 1793, it tried enemies of the revolution with low standards of evidence. The tribunal was a tool for silencing dissent and consolidating power. It became a symbol of the revolution's dark side, descending into tyranny. Political clubs were at the heart of the French Revolution. The Jacobins, led by Robespierre, were known for their radical views and ruthlessness. They believed in a centralized government and the use of terror to silence opposition. The Jacobins controlled key institutions during the Reign of Terror. They were responsible for the deaths of thousands. The Red Mass was a macabre ceremony held during the Reign of Terror. Revolutionaries in red caps sang revolutionary hymns in a church draped in red. The altar was adorned with guillotines and pikes. It was a strange blend of religious ritual and revolutionary fervor. The revolutionaries destroyed countless historical artifacts and monuments. Churches were ransacked, statues toppled, and paintings defaced. The revolutionaries saw these artifacts as symbols of oppression. The cultural losses were significant, a reminder of the revolution's unintended consequences. Liberté, égalité, fraternité captured the essence of the revolution's ideals. The motto became a rallying cry for revolutionaries. It was inscribed on public buildings and sung in revolutionary songs. Today it remains the national motto of France, a testament to the revolution's enduring legacy. The revolutionaries created a new administrative system, replacing old provinces with departments. France was divided into 83 departments, each named after a geographical feature. The new system centralized power and promoted efficiency. The departments are still around today, a testament to the revolution's lasting impact. Thanks for joining us on this journey through the French Revolution. We've explored the shocking, the bizarre, and the absurd. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more historical insights. Until next time, stay curious and keep questioning history.